It was many years ago. I was introduced to SPEBSQSA while I lived in Defiance, Ohio.
How many years ago?
50. At my first chapter show, and that was maybe 3 months after I had joined, we had an afterglow, and the 4 renegades entertained, and our assistant director took me aside and said, Juan, he always called me Juan, he thought I was Venezuelan or something. Can we borrow your, what? He said, come sing with us. So it turned out to be 3 parts of a quartet whose bass had died. And we started, after the afterglow, we started woodshedding. And Jim Schisler, who was that guy who invited me, later an international champion, I said, Jim, I can't do this. I don't know the words. I don't know the notes. And he said, watch my mouth for the words. Watch my hands for the notes. And we sang until, well, that was about maybe 11 o'clock in the evening. And we sang till the sun came up. And then later reformed the old quartet and competed in Johnny Appleseed District that fall. Well, by that time, it was in my blood. And shortly after that, I took a job in Elkhart, Indiana. Understanding that at one time the Elkhart chapter had been the largest in the society, I started, there was nobody there. There was a South Bend chapter, but I thought we ought to have an Elkhart chapter. So I started calling people, and I had a couple other guys helping me. And gee, within 6 months, we had an organizational meeting and reopened the Elkhart chapter, or refounded it. One of the major players in that was Slats Raymer, who all the old-timers will remember. Slats Raymer was a member. Don Willis was a member. They were out of the Roadrunners Quartet. And I think we chartered with 51 members, which was pretty astounding.
What year was this?
This must have been 1962, maybe 63. But that was great fun. I even directed it. I subsequently billed myself as the worst one-armed director in the society. Moved from there shortly thereafter. Went to Georgia for a year, came back, rejoined the chapter, and Slats Raymer took me to a Hartsmen rehearsal up in Michigan City. And that's all she wrote. I traveled with the Hartsmen for almost 8 years. Quite an interesting organization and a fascinating director. Rudy Hart was the king in my books.